At the beginning of the interview, we asked the most obvious question, which is, why did you do this? Did you feel a threat, an imminent physical threat, and that's your justification? And the answer we got shocked us. Putin went on for a very long time, probably half an hour, about the history of Russia going back to the 8th century. And honestly, we thought this was a filibustering technique and found it annoying and interrupted him several times. And he responded he was annoyed by the interruption. What you're about to see seemed to us sincere. You're making the case that Ukraine, certainly parts of Ukraine, Eastern Ukraine, is in effect Russia has been for hundreds of years. Why wouldn't you just take it when you became president 24 years ago? You have nuclear weapons, they don't. If it's actually your land, why did you wait so long?
I'll tell you. I'm coming to that. This briefing is coming to an end. It might be boring, but it explains many things.
I just don't know how it's relevant.
Good. Good. I'm so gratified that you appreciate that. Thank you. So, before World War II,
So that is the interview that Tucker Carlson did with Vladimir Putin. And as Tucker even admits, Putin just filibustered for like a solid half hour, just talking about a whole bunch of stuff from 1,000 years ago or whatever that has nothing to do with modern history. And Tucker Carlson is supposed to pretend that that is anything other than Putin telegraphing that he will do whatever the hell he wants and he doesn't care about you, little man, and your stupid non-questions. But the way that he framed the beginning of that was so amazing. Like, we asked him, was it that you felt a physical threat? You know, I, bold journalist, asked him if the thing they said was the reason they had to invade and have said for a year and a half. That isn't true, but that's their cover story. Is that the actual reason? And I think he was sincere. That's Tucker Carlson. Intelligent guy, sharp mind, keen mind, thinks that Vladimir Putin, a guy formerly of the intelligence services of Russia, who is now dictator for life, who routinely kills his political opponents, he was sincere. He really believes this stuff from 650 years ago. That's the real reason. Tucker Carlson, like, he really puts the idiot in useful idiot, I think, Brett. And I have other thoughts, but what do you think?
This is Putin being like, listen, the content of this interview doesn't matter. The fact that you're here matters. I said yes to you when I said no to many other people because I think
actual journalists.
I think I don't have to do any interviews. I only do the ones that benefit me politically, and I've decided you benefit me politically. Now, this is a side that supports Tucker Carlson that is also an America First side. Putin wouldn't, or anybody like Putin wouldn't do the interview unless they felt it benefited them. And there's never any extended argument for why we should accept what Putin wants in the larger geopolitical discussion. It always turns into something about China being bad. Oh, and even Tucker's like, the American understanding of geopolitics and international trade is wrong and falling apart. But they never really delve into like, what's the new one? What's our role in it? And how do we get a good role in it? Those same people would say anything about being cool with Russia, being cool with China as weakness for America. You know? So good.
It's very frustrating.
And Putin's like, I'm just going to say, okay, so let's go back to them. Viking Rus, we were Vikings, we kill everybody going all the way through America. In ancient times, they would not let more than 6 Russians into various countries because they knew we would kill people. That was like an actual thing about Russians back in the day.
I did not know that.
They were like, listen, there's kings of countries being like, we can only let max 15 Russians into town, and we need to follow them around because they murder everyone.
Yeah, so look, the frustrating thing about this is he does this non-interview that he is only allowed to do because Putin knows there will not be a tough question. And oh, what do you know? There was not a tough question. There was no question that did not play into, not just like accidentally into their propaganda, but exactly the sort of propaganda that they have attempted to disseminate from the very beginning of this barbarous invasion of Ukraine. And I understand that Tucker Carlson doesn't care if Vladimir Putin literally just gathered up every single civilian in Ukraine and put them in a mass grave. Like, he would not lose a minute of sleep if that happened. But he's not even pretending to care about like the Russians who have died. You could ask, like, let's say that you pretend, oh yeah, no, it's not a real country, Ukraine. Russia can invade if they want. How about this? You invaded clearly thinking that this was going to be an easy invasion, and instead you've lost tens of thousands of Russians. Maybe you should rethink the strategy because so many of your people are needlessly dying. And of course, there's no question like that. He's not a journalist. He's not a renegade. He's not brave. This is just the latest in his global tour of helping to whitewash the images of dictators. He is a useful idiot, not just to Putin, but to dictators in many different countries. That's what he's there to do. And he occasionally uses the word elite. That's supposed to balance it out. That he goes to some of the people who are literally Vladimir Putin might literally be the richest person in the world because of all the Russian wealth that he has stolen. And here is Tucker Carlson helping him to advance his cause, as he literally has a stranglehold on every aspect of Russian society and will not leave office until he perishes.